Well, I want to thank you all. We're coming now to the end, but it's been a great day. I hope you all have felt the way we did. That was a fantastic opportunity to get everyone together. This is the kind of vision that we had back in 2013 when one of our colleagues and leaders, Jim Flagging, who many of you know, helped give birth to the security series, and we've been doing it ever since. And the idea was to be able to get in a room like this, thought leaders like yourselves in cybersecurity, where we could have relevant and timely discussions. And I would say if this day and the agenda that you just saw unfold before you and the dialogue that you've had with each other reaffirms that never has cybersecurity been more timely and relevant than it is right now. I think while we're sitting here in Washington and the topic of the day is obviously everything that's likely to be changing, one thing that isn't changing is the certainty of the importance of what you all are doing and the role that you play along with the government in cybersecurity. It underpins every aspect of the modern digital world. It enables everything that we're doing in both the economy and for national security. I think Jim pointed out earlier in his discussion and his keynote the importance that we're living in this exciting age of global innovation, and that you've got data analytics, cloud, mobile, social, but all those things that cannot be enabled without the key underpinning of security, cybersecurity. In fact, one of the things we talk about at the Chertoff Group, which you've heard us say before, is the 3 T's, that we got to focus on technology, trust, and threat. And the way that you all are helping to help the private sector and government to address this issue, where as cybersecurity is incorporated into our lives and technology, how that on the threat side is affecting new avenues of attack for the adversaries, both criminal and state actors. It's also how we've seen over and over again that if it's done properly, cybersecurity can be not just defensive, but an offensive element of every offering in the enterprise space. We tried to focus on today with all of you here 4 major panels to address key themes that are before us. We had a great panel on transition. We know there's going to be a lot of new and exciting leaders that come into the government, from many of the private sector. I think this will be a period where many of you that have not necessarily had government experience will be tapped to help the new administration to understand the challenges that are before it and the solutions that are available. We talked about in those panels how the technologies will play a key role and how there's going to be a need for more focus and investment across the board, not only at the federal level, but also with our international partners. We had a second great panel on identity. There we discussed the digital transformation that's occurring all around us, the cloud, mobile, social. We explored how identity has become extremely important with regard to how we're accessing information and who has authority to get that information. Third, we had the discussion on security in the boardroom. This has become obviously one of the most important topics at the C-suite level. And this is an opportunity again where hopefully we're discussing it and encouraging it to be addressed, not just as a cost, but actually as a business enabler. And finally, we had the panel, which we just witnessed, on cyber insurance, which is an extremely important area for all of our both government and the private sector to use free market solutions to help manage the cyber risk that is before us. So 4 great panels, important, timely discussions on the cutting issues of cyber today. Washington, D.C. right now is certainly focused again on change, but we want to think in particular getting insights of those that are here right now. So we want to say a special thanks to David Bray from the FCC for sharing his views on how we need to consider new approaches to cybersecurity. I also want to thank all of our speakers who contributed to the conversations on stage as well as during our Birds of a Feather discussions at lunch. And finally, I just want to say, obviously, we couldn't do any of this without the generous support of our great sponsors, and I'd ask them to raise their hand if they're here now: Cisco, Coalfire, Landesk, Microsoft, and SailPoint. So thank you all very much. So that wraps it up. For more information on the Chertoff Security Series and other upcoming events, we'd invite you to please visit our website at www.chertoffgroup.com. Thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you at the next event. And if we don't see you before next week, happy Thanksgiving. We wish you all tons of turkey and hopefully minimal family fights and lots of football. Go Cowboys. Okay.